Welcome to a new episode of World Stories. We'll be taking you on an exciting journey all over the world, full of very strange fun facts and stories. In our journey this week, we'll tell you which country is called the Kingdom of Dolls and why. Want to explore some trade routes that ancient civilizations used millenniums ago? Let's explore them together. You won't believe what those sunglasses are made of. Want to know? Stay with us and we'll tell you. Fasten your seatbelts. Known as the Kingdom of Dolls, Japan enjoys a rich culture of dolls. Each doll has its own distinct meaning and purpose and is deeply connected to daily life in Japan. This traditional appreciation for dolls has resulted in the belief that dolls are not only children's toys, but also works of art to be displayed and admired, and resulted in creating unlimited styles of dolls. Japanese dolls reflect the customs of Japan and the aspirations of its people, possess distinctive regional attributes, and over the centuries have developed in many diverse forms. At the Japanese Dolls exhibition at Bahrain's National Museum, we learned a lot about the Japanese culture. Let's explore it together. Welcome to the Japanese exhibition of dolls. We'll learn more about the Japanese culture today through dolls. Each doll has a story and represents an important part of the Japanese culture. Let's go. We have with us here His Excellency, the Japanese Ambassador to Bahrain, Mr. Ito. He'll tell us more about the stories of the dolls.
We exhibit the dolls on various important occasions. For example, these dolls are exhibited on the occasion of Festival of Girls, what we call Hinamatsuri. That is every year, 3rd of March. And actually this represents Emperor and Empress. And this means exhibition of these dolls mean that we wish our daughters to have a happy family life. So with that prayer, we exhibit this doll on occasion of Festival for Girls. This is a festival for boys. That's why our wish for those boys to grow up strong and healthy. That's why we exhibit this kind of doll of warrior. And probably he's going to his first battle. This is, most typical doll on that occasion. But another version is this doll. This is what we call Kintaro. Kintaro is he's a legend, hero of legend. He's a small boy, but he's very, very powerful. Chinese hero. Again, wishing our boys to be strong. And this is another doll. This is our first legendary emperor. He was considered to be very strong emperor. That's why again, we wish strength and power for our boys. So we exhibit those dolls on the occasion of Festival of Boys. That is 5th of May every year.
And now with the Oyama Ningyu dolls. His Excellency will tell us more about them.
Those Oyama Ningyos represent one of the scenes of Japanese traditional dance. Each doll represents a certain scene of typical Japanese traditional dance. So this lady, for example, is dancing what we call Fuji Musume dance. So that Fuji means this tree. So she is carrying this tree and dancing. This is Fuji Musume. And this is Yaegaki Hime. She is Princess Yaegaki. She's also, dancing, as Princess Yaegaki.
What does she have on her head?
Well, this is traditional Japanese hairstyle. Not now anymore, but say 150 years ago, more than 200 years ago, Japanese ladies are making this kind of hairstyle.
Please tell us more about this doll. She has a wonderful drum.
Yeah, again, this is part of one scene of a very famous Japanese traditional dance called dojoji. Dojoji. She is now dancing and also hitting this small drum as well.
Do people in Japan still wear those outfits nowadays?
On special occasion, for example, New Year Day, or coming to adult a ceremony, so on and so forth. But honestly speaking, this Japanese traditional what we call kimono, very difficult to wear, complicated. That's why nowadays even Japanese ladies themselves don't know how to wear those kimonos, and there are special schools to teach how to wear kimono in Japan. So young ladies before marriage maybe go to those schools and learn how to wear kimonos.
Wow, that's very impressive, but they look amazing at the end. What about this doll?
Yeah, this doll is famous geisha. Yeah, they are sort of presenting Japanese traditional dances on various occasions, and she is now dancing traditional dance. In old period, old Japanese ladies grow their hair very long, and using their long hair, they make this kind of hairstyle in one way or another.
The last dancing doll, I think she's playing...
She's playing Japanese traditional musical instrument called koto.
Okay, it sounds like a harp, for example?
Yeah, well, sort of Japanese harp, or if I may say so, Japanese kanun.
And now with the Kokeshi Ningyu dolls, I see they are made of wood. They are different than the other ones.
Sure. Yeah, Kokeshi Ningyo is a wooden doll. The head is round and the body is cylindrical and made of wood. And in fact, there are many different faces and shapes depending on the region which produce those kokeshi. So that's why kokeshi used to be one of the most popular souvenirs for tourists in Japan. So many people went to various places and buy their local kokeshi and display those kokeshis at their house as a memories and souvenirs.
We have with us here now dolls depicting the customs of Japan. His Excellency will tell us the story of each doll of them.
Well, those are all those of children. This child is dancing, for example, and those are maybe prince and princess together. Those children are making playing some special traditional games. This person is chasing those people, and those four boys girls trying to avoid this person catching them. This is a very small child. That's why, not now anymore, but many years ago, more than 100 years ago, 200 years ago, when a child is very, very small, they, made this kind of hairstyle.
Okay, so they actually did this hairstyle for children?
Yeah, because at that time, people thought this type of hairstyle is very cute for small child. In Japan now, there are two types of sleeves, if I may say so. In kimono, when you see long sleeve like this means this lady is not married.
Okay.
And if you got married, the sleeve should be short.
Okay.
So if you see sleeves of kimono, you can differentiate between married ladies and unmarried girls.
So is this a yukata or a kimono?
No, kimono. Yukata is worn only during summertime.
Okay. We don't have any yukatas here today.
Yukata is a rather informal type of kimono, because those are all formal dolls. That's why they wear formal kimonos, not yukata.
I see here a doll with the face of a lion.
Those are dolls for kabuki, used in kabuki theater, another type of Japanese traditional theater performance. And in this case, this is father lion, and this is son, child lion. And because lion should be strong, is top of all animals. That's why this father lion throw his son, child lion into deep valley, And when child lion survives and come back, then he will raise his son. But if he fails to come back, he abandons his child because he's weak.
We're here at the exhibition and just met Budur. She is a Bahraini wearing a Japanese kimono, which is very hard to wear, by the way. Let's know the secret. Why are you wearing this kimono today and how?
I actually lived in Japan for about 7 years, and I went to kimono school to learn how to wear kimono professionally. So I can put it on in 17 minutes, actually.
17 minutes. Impressive. Can you tell us more about the kimono? Tell us more about the pieces?
Yes, of course. The kimono usually represents each season. So because it's kind of fall season, so I have to wear fall colors, and the obi, which is the sash, also has to have some resemblance of the weather or the season. So I have all 4 seasonal flowers, if you can see in the back as well. To kind of show that this can be worn every season. They have to resemble a flower that's in season. So for example, the sakura, which is the cherry blossom, can only be worn in April, for example. And then like chrysanthemum would be worn in the fall. It's like that.
Okay, and tell us more about this. What is this inside?
There are different pieces to kind of put on the kimono. So this actually holds a pillow that goes underneath inside, and every like obijime, obedate, like there are so many different parts of the kimono to kind of hold the obi, which is the belt. So this is one of them.
And what's the use of the pillow? Does it help you when you sit down and you just lay your back?
No, actually, the Japanese kimono is worn to kind of cover your body parts, but the only part that's allowed to be shown is your back here. And so when you do that, you want to kind of highlight the back for its beauty. So that's why all the obis or the belts have beautiful decorations in the back to kind of give attention to the beauty of the kimono from the back side.
We have with us here Masaya. She is a Japanese who has been living in Bahrain for 1.5 years now. Her name is Masaya, which means true help in the world. And she is also a kimono designer. Tell us more about your kimono today.
Okay, today's kimono I make is, as you can see, usually the belt is very complicated. But I make it simple kimono, simple belt, so that I don't need to tie 100 times, you know, wrap around, usually wrap around, but I don't need to wrap around. So very simple and easy to move. So everything about easy worn, modern type of kimono. These days, women are very busy, so we can't take time to wear kimono.
Okay. Tell me more about the colors of your kimono. What do they represent? The colors.
Colors, actually, I like red, that's why. And I like silk.
Good reason.
This is silk, red, I like, and also this hem of the sleeves, and also the color, Japanese cotton, Japanese fabric. You can see very classical pattern of kimono. So I combined bits and bits to make it more Japanese kimono. But actually, usually kimono usually buy from kimono artists, but I am the one who is now design and let the tailor to make.
From what we've learned today, dolls are not just home decorations, they reflect stories and traditions of Japan. From interesting Japanese traditions to another modern view of Japan, teams from around the world are gathering in Tokyo to share their love of all things manga, anime, and gaming at the annual World Cosplay Summit. First staged in 2003 as a way of connecting with other countries, the annual event now includes representatives from 42 countries from around the globe. This year marks the 17th annual World Cosplay Summit in Japan. It's not new. The event takes place in both Tokyo and Nagoya with over 300,000 participants. From games to manga to anime to movies, fandom reigns at World Cosplay Summit 2019 in Tokyo. The World Cosplay Summit is not just a celebration of fandom and cosplay, it's also a competition. Each team consists of 2 players and must win top spot in their own respective country before coming to compete at the World Summit. But competitors aren't the only ones cosplaying at the event. The venue is filled with guests from around the world cosplaying for fun. The main competition kicks off with each team coming on stage, one at a time. Teams are given a short time to show off their cosplay costumes and a small performance as they make their way across the stage. We promised to tell you what the sunglasses we showed you earlier are made of. A company in Ukraine is creating biodegradable sunglasses made from coffee waste. It's hoped customers will be encouraged to buy eco-friendly yet fashionable alternatives to plastic sunglasses. Coffee, vegetable, oil and flax. This machine is cutting through an unusual mixture of raw materials. It is making a batch of what are said to be the first sunglasses made of coffee waste. They were invented in 2018 by Max Gavrilino, a young man in charge of his family's glasses repair business in Ukraine. Determined to make glasses which are completely biodegradable, he founded an innovative eyewear brand. He says he tried a variety of different materials, from mint and parsley to buckwheat and rice before trying coffee. Wow, I wanted to see that. If you wonder about the prices, the sunglasses cost $89 or $139 depending on the model. Interested in buying one? The more we learn, the more we realize how little we know about the world. Let's explore some interesting and entertaining facts to twist your brain and tickle your curiosity. Have you wondered how a bee can turn into a queen bee? Does the word royal jelly ring a bell? No? Then listen to this. Any female bee can turn into a queen thanks to the royal jelly. But first, she must be lucky enough to be selected. The royal jelly is fed by working bees to all bee larvae for 3 days after hatching, but only one larva will be fed the jelly exclusively. As a result of the difference in diet, the queen will develop into a more fertile and mature bee, unlike the worker bees. Something else about Japan. Vending machines are not just for snacks, at least not in Japan. The capital of vending machines, as they call it, have gone above and beyond by offering umbrellas and hot ready meals to even live lobsters. Can you imagine? And if you like surprises, there is one selling mystery items which you won't know what the content is until you've torn the wrapping. Japan, you don't fail to impress me. How about a step back into history? I'm sure you've heard a lot about Leonardo da Vinci, but there is something I bet you didn't know. Leonardo da Vinci had an insignificant quirk. Besides being left-handed, he often wrote backwards. Let me explain more. This method is called mirror writing, where the words appear as normal only when seen with a mirror. So mysterious of him, right? Let's test your geography knowledge. What's the second largest country by area? Anyone got it? It has a red flag. No, it's not China, and no, it's not in Europe. I'm sure some of you had guessed it correctly, or at least I hope so. Regardless, ladies and gentlemen, it's Canada. An international team of archaeologists and explorers set sail from the Black Sea port of Varna. By boat, they will explore trade routes that ancient civilizations used millenniums ago. Want to join them? Let's go! Crew members are adding the final touches to the 14-meter reed boat Abora 4 as she prepares to set sail from Beloslav Lake. Its unique design is inspired by old Egyptian paintings and constructed using only Totora reed and wood. The reeds were harvested near the lake Titicaca in Bolivia almost a year ago. Tied into huge rolls, they arrived in Bulgaria earlier this year. For 10 weeks, bundles of reeds have been tied with ropes to create the boat's body. A wooden mast and 2 reed huts for the crew were placed on top. The Abora Strong crew includes volunteers from Germany, USA, Bulgaria, Bolivia, and the Netherlands. Despite the similarities with ancient vessels, the Abora 4 has a huge advantage. It's equipped with up-to-date satellite and radio communication devices. The expedition is planned to set sail from Varna, passing by Greece, and finally to the Egyptian port city of Alexandria. The Abora 4 reed boat will have to stay in the harbor in Boleslav for several days to soak before it departs on its adventurous trip.
The main goal of this experiment is to prove that the Greek Argonauts were not the first one. We have very new archaeological evidence that long before the Greek people, possibly people from Minoan civilization, also from Egypt, and very likely also people from the Varna culture sailed these waterways 6,000 years ago. And this is what archaeologists are always doubting. They are measuring with double standards sometimes, and they say contacts by land, yes, contacts by sea, no. And this is exactly what we are going to demonstrate to support very new findings in Bulgaria. I'm speaking about the Darbene treasure, but also some Egyptian seals found by Bulgarian archaeologists, which are demonstrating that there were far distant contacts from the Black Sea shores into the Mediterranean Sea.
Who's a fan of seesaws here? Don't be disappointed, but you haven't been making the best out of them. We got you a video from social media that will blow your mind. Let's take a look. Wow, right? With this, we have arrived at our last station. Goodbye and see you next week with new facts, studies, and world stories.